Hello and welcome
Hello!
to season 3 of the Off Air Voiceover Podcast. My name, of course, is Michael,
And I'm Jen.
and we're back again. We're
We're
going for
back.
it. We're
Who
going
can
for it.
believe it?
We just become like a bit of a labour of love, haven't it? Hasn't it?
Yeah, sometimes somebody told me today actually that most podcasts end after 7 episodes.
Yeah, I remember reading that stat when we first
It
started it.
impressed me actually. So we've beaten the odds. We are still
Yeah,
here,
we're still
wonders
kind of
or not.
still feel like we're kind of learning in some ways, like
I
not in
mean,
terms
in
of like
all ways,
yeah, not in terms of like doing the podcast itself, but there's like probably from more like the production side of things. Like there's always still
100%.
nuances, and I was thinking yesterday actually about like when we first started out, it was like we all sort of really went all in on the turn, like where it's off air, it's raw, it's unfiltered, and everything. We're probably like a little bit like well, not you, because it was my responsibility, but like on the audio side of it, like we'd never really do any processing to it. We try and keep everything as organic as possible. But then obviously audio is really important with a podcast. Of
Yeah.
course it is. So, so there were probably little things where like I look back now and go, oh, maybe we should put just a little bit more time into that. So things like that over time are slowly starting to
It
improve.
will be really interesting actually if you listen back to any of the first episodes. That might
Oh,
be
I
quite
can't do
nice
it.
actually.
I can't do it.
Really? Okay. Maybe we'll be proud. I do think we had a lot of laughs, didn't we? So,
Yeah.
some good points.
Yeah, and I think, well, actually, no, I was going to say, I was going to sort of digress into what we've talked about, what this third season is going to be more about. But we'll come to that in a little while. So,
Yeah.
in the meantime, so genuinely, for those of you listening, Jen and I don't speak on the daily. We do give each other a wide berth for a apart from like the odd little catch up
Uh,
via the socials that you do
I
when the
do want to
moment
know you're
happens.
okay, but yeah, we do.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
life's
yes,
busy.
so go on. So the last time we had a good catch up was when we did the Christmas episode.
Oh my
I don't think
God.
I've seen you or spoke to you since because you didn't come to the big VO social.
No, couldn't come to that. Yeah, it's been manic. I mean, January obviously was like 3 months rolled into one, wasn't it? In terms of length, but February has flown by.
That's
It's
been
just gone
fast.
so fast, and I actually can't believe it's March. So we're recording this on the 28th of February. So
Right.
March tomorrow. That is batshit.
It is funny, and it's like I mean, a lot of people probably relate to this, but yeah, like the build up into the Christmas period, irrespective of work, I just mean in general,
Yeah,
the build up into the Christmas period, like getting all excited for the
yeah,
festivities and so on and so forth. Then it happens, and then it's the countdown to New Year. That week is weird in itself.
yeah.
Like every day is, it's
Twixmas.
not, yeah, you don't know anyway. Yeah, so there's that week, and then once New Year's out of the way, the year tends to be slow to get going.
Yeah.
January like has about 80 days in it. And then February, like you said, like before you know it, and obviously I know February's a shorter month, but before you know it, it's like
I
flipping
mean,
heck.
it's next level short. Yeah, cannot believe it. It's gone really fast. I've heard from a lot of people they found January quite slow.
Yeah, I
So
did.
if that was you, don't anyone listening, don't panic. I think
Yeah,
things are starting to pick up, aren't they?
yeah. How about you? Did you?
It was a weird one for me. I actually got my biggest job to date came in January. So
Nice,
I am the new brand voice for an international company, which I'm very excited about.
amazing.
So that was a big deal for me, and little bits and pieces. So not loads of work, but obviously quite substantial
Yeah,
for me, which is a nice change.
yeah. Yeah, same for me. January in the build up. Sorry, in the start of January, the first couple of weeks was just total tumbleweed. There was a
Yeah,
few little things that like appeared,
yeah,
but nothing of real substance, like
yeah.
because but then towards the back end of January, yeah, like I mean, gotta say I'm very grateful. It's been nice and steady. And so
Mm.
Steph and I joined the girls at Foxy Tongue, the
Oh
new
yes,
agency,
I've heard good things.
and that's really been eye opening. That we've had some really good auditions come through, and one actually, I know you're saying you landed that big one, so that was a bit of an emotional roller coaster for me because I had something similar where I can talk about it now because it's all done. So I was brought in to read to be the voice for Nat West. And this was like a last minute thing. They were like, look, they had a voice. They're not sure, or there was some complications of some kind. I have no idea what it was. But they asked me to do a quick test read. Like, are you available? I was like, yep, let's get it
Yes,
done.
please.
So, literally within an hour of getting this email, I'm sat here, connected to the studio in London. We do the 2 TV commercial scripts. We do the radio scripts. Then they'd get in all these other people dialed in to listen to it, and like because they wanted a northern voice and blah blah blah. And I was like, this would have been like the biggest job I've ever booked, like
Yeah,
from a monetary
yeah,
position,
yeah,
like
yeah,
massive. And so inevitably, like you just like, listen, an hour ago I didn't even know this existed. I haven't
yeah,
because I feel for some people, where you do your audition, and then you get shortlisted. They want a second audition. Can
Yeah.
you do it? Like, it's a build and
Yeah.
build and build.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
they go, no, sorry, that is
Yeah.
tough. But with this one, I had a bit more sort of, I won't say thicker skin, but I was a little bit more calmer because I was like an hour ago, this didn't exist. And now I've
Yeah.
been given this
Yeah.
opportunity, so I don't get carried away. So
I know, it's
anyway,
so hard, though, isn't it?
and then I found out it was the final two. It was the original person they'd picked and me. And anyway, so we had to stew over it the weekend. They asked for my availability for the next day. So me and Sean was like, "What do you reckon?" She's like, "I don't know. It sounds promising." Like when then you start asking all the questions, like, "Why would they ask my availability?" Like,
I know, yeah.
Why? Why? You just want to pick up the phone, like, just tell me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I didn't get it. The other person, they stuck with their original VO, but
Do you know who that is yet?
no, it's out. It is out now. I've only heard the social version, which has got a tag at the end, but all the TV spots, obviously I'm in France, so I don't get like British TV.
Yeah.
But
it was a known voice, wasn't it? It was
apparently so. Yeah, I think it's I think it's a celebrity of like reality TV status.
I mean, I am gonna search for it after this and see who it is.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
I'm
To
sure
be
you
fair,
know.
I don't recognise the voice either.
Okay, that's interesting.
But it is Northern, and they've done a great job. So it's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes you listen, and go, oh, really? But
Yeah.
no, I think fair's fair.
Yeah.
So that was an emotional roller coaster, and it just really kind of cemented from having a really quiet January to then
Yeah.
February
big
was
stuff.
like, yeah, it was like, and yeah, it's just it's been okay. So yeah, other than that,
I do feel quite optimistic. I think often in January I can get really low, presumably because of the weather and everything. I do suffer a bit with sad. But this year I didn't find as bad actually, which is amazing. And today the sun is proper shining here. Everybody in the UK, remember 28th of February, so the one day of sun we get.
that's it. Today's your summer. That's all
You'll
you
know
get.
it because that was today. It was amazing, and I did a walking networking event this morning.
Right.
It's like a thing they're running around the country, I think, but mine was like one in Sheffield, and yeah, you met a group of people who were kind of agency adjacent, and we did a walk around Sheffield, and it was so nice, and the sun was proper shining. I've said proper so many times in this conversation, but it's proper shining, and it was proper lovely. So yeah, in-person networking is good.
Well, that's a shame you didn't come to the VO social thing. That Rob and Helen put on, it was excellent. It was absolutely excellent.
It was mainly for voiceovers, that one, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, they had like a few stands that you
Yeah,
probably
of course,
typically see at Grave and stuff.
It looked really good. Yeah,
Where it
did
was.
look
It was just,
interesting.
I think as well, just coming out of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because normally you have to wait all the year round for either Vox.
Yeah, and January can be bleak, can't it? So it's good to see colleagues and stuff.
It was a really good turnout, and from
They're such
what I
nice people as
understand,
well. I'm glad it's gone well.
From what I understand, they're going to do another one next year. So
Oh, good. Okay, well, fingers crossed I can make that one.
yeah, it was excellent.
I am excited, and I think part of the conversation we've already had kind of leads us on nicely to the main theme of this series of the podcast. Yeah. So we're going to carry on with our usual conversational banter, water cooler moments, etc. But we did think that it might be interesting to have more of a deep dive into casting. Now, we've covered casting a bit, haven't we, in the previous series? So we had
Susie.
We had the guys from Bauer, we had Hugh and Gina, so talking about their processes. But we wanted to talk to some more people in different genres and different companies and different personalities. Everyone's got a different process, haven't they?
Yeah, I think because on reflection, like, I think a lot of voiceover podcasts tend to always do the same sort of things. Like they cover, like, best way to do your demos and websites and etc. All the sort of what I'd probably call the generic sort of stuff.
Yeah, all valid though.
All valid, but it's just someone else has taken it. So we're not, again, this isn't anything particularly new, but it's just something we want to explore a bit more. Is now we want to sort of really start speaking to the people that you would probably approach on a more regular basis for work. Like, where are they finding their voices?
Yeah.
So let's think about the classic video production companies. You know, they work with voiceovers all the time.
Yeah, in day out.
Yeah. So and
Whatever
for most voiceovers, unless your niche or speciality is just in gaming, then But we've had people on who specialize in that. But now it's like, okay, well, let's as working voiceovers, whether you're new or you experienced with it, I think it'd be good to actually let's speak to the people who we email or when we do our content and we tag people of these industries. Let's ask them, where do you go for your voiceovers? What do you look for? What are switch offs? What turns you off?
Yeah,
Like,
what are they thinking when that cold email lands in their inbox? Like, what are they thinking? And what I really want to know as well is like what happens next? Like, I'm so interested in the whole
Yeah.
process. So like where they're looking, how they find their voices, how they make those decisions, obviously working with their clients. Then what happens with the voices when we send them stuff through, like, all that. I want to know
Yeah.
all that process. I'm so interested.
Yeah, I think it's like trying to actually obtain answers to the stuff that we tend to
Yeah.
ask or we.
Selfishly, we are doing this just for us.
Yeah.
We wanted answers.
But normally content is driven around the ways to approach the clients. So
Yes.
what we
Yeah.
want to do is switch and go, let's ask the
Yep.
client, how
Yeah.
do they want to be
Yeah.
approached?
How do they actually? Yeah.
What do
We're
they
really
what's
hoping.
what's the turn off? What, like,
Yeah.
LinkedIn's a great tool. What bothers them? What can they
Yeah.
see? Can they see
Yeah.
through? Let's ask them directly. Let's find
Yes.
out, because
Yeah. We've said a lot of things, haven't we? Like when we feel really, really cringe when we're commenting on posts we might genuinely like on LinkedIn, but then you see
absolutely.
10 other voiceover artists have commented and you're like, ugh, I just feel like dirty.
And
Are
yeah.
they just not thinking that? Thinking, oh, that's a nice comment. I don't know. I want to know the answer.
Right. And obviously, there's not one blanket answer that will
Sure.
represent everyone, which is why we're going to pose it to different people
Yeah.
who
We've
do
got some
different
cracking
things.
guests.
Yeah. So
Honestly, if you want to get cast more, you need to tune in to this series.
and for those that you listen, because obviously this is only episode 1, so there's going to be plenty of time. This will go out. I don't know when.
Don't make a date. Don't make a
No,
date.
no. I'm just thinking. What I'm going to say is, when this goes out, there will be enough time for you to reach out to us, and if you have a question you'd
Yes.
like asking,
Yeah.
we can compile a few different things and say, okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to name yourself.
That's a
It could
really
just
good idea,
be,
Michael. Actually, I'd love to know what other people want to know as well. So we'll make sure
Yeah.
we do polls and stuff on our
help
socials.
us help you.
Yeah. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok, and that's the only place we are, isn't it? And let us know via DMs or email us and let us know any things you want answering.
Yeah, so you've just mentioned TikTok there, which is an excellent segue, something I wanted to mention. But yeah, so this season, like Jen said, it's going to be more of the same, but we really want to try and repurpose the content a little bit more so it's answering the questions directly from the people we largely target.
Yeah.
So we have kind of done that when we had Hugh and Gina on with gaming and obviously Susie as well. But I think there's more that can be uncovered. And I think there's like, there's such specialist topics, specialist industries like with
Yes.
gaming.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be good to, and obviously the guys from Bauer as well, they helped. I mean,
And I definitely want to learn more about gaming. But
Yeah.
yes, there's
so
there's
now
more
I think,
genres out there.
yeah. So we're going to we're going to get more people involved that can answer more questions that we all have. And I think it'd be quite fascinating to see what we can uncover, and it can help us all in some way. Then that's excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
But in terms of the TikTok, right? So I was listening to Mark Scott's infamously excellent
Shout
podcast.
out Mark Scott. Honestly, if you're not following his podcast, do it because it's genius.
And the one that I came across, obviously, as you know, I've been heavily taking a big interest in the SEO side of everything and all that sort of stuff. And he had an excellent episode on with Gina Scarpa 4 weeks ago, and it was all about SEO and keywords and so on and so forth. But towards later on in the episode, they talked about how it's really important to understand who the current audience is. And what they effectively said was, I thought it was, I mean, again, it's one of those things that you kind of know, but until it's laid out to you in a certain way, it doesn't come across as the light bulb moment. You know what I mean? So anyway, what they basically said was that you think about people of a younger generation coming up now, their search habits and their search intent is a little different to ours, where we still, and Google is still obviously the big thing, but a lot of people now find their content on YouTube or they find it on TikTok.
Yeah,
so
they're
they go
using those
there.
as search engines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So these videos, so basically what they're saying is, like on your website, when you've got an FAQ section, for example, there's so much content you have there that can be all repurposed into a video format.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already started doing it. So I've got questions on my FAQs. And also as well, you got to remember, who are you trying to give the information to?
Yeah.
So
who's your ideal client?
Because a lot of the information that a lot of voiceovers tend to do is, it's almost like the coaching to some degree. I'm guilty of it as well. So, but really, if you want to try and attract new clients, the videos should be geared towards helping them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you
What are
shouldn't
their
do stuff to help
pain
other voiceovers.
Yeah.
Because obviously we all benefit from a little bit of helpful content, but ultimately,
Yeah.
doing a video
100%.
answering FAQs to help people understand about working with a voiceover is more targeted. And it was just I thought about it and I thought, and also as well, Gina said about short form content, if I remember correctly, I'm sure it was her that said it. short form content is really important. So like do a YouTube short and just maybe sit
Yeah.
there for a minute or something and just say, right, okay, what are your rates? And just answer the questions in video format.
Yeah.
And you don't need to reinvent the wheel. All the stuff that you need, content, etc., is already
It's
out
already
there.
out there, yeah. And I think it is frightening how even like you and I will scroll Instagram or whatever, and that's what YouTube is now. It's just another social media platform that I'm absolutely not making the most of.
Yeah,
And I think there's a lot of this stuff that I know, and I'm sure you knew listening to Gina's episode, but it's doing it as well, isn't it? Being like,
it is.
actually, you know what?
And they joked about that as well.
Yeah, because I
Exactly
feel
that.
like that I'm in that position now. I mean, obviously, I don't know everything, but there's a lot of stuff I do know that I'm not then acting on. So there we
It is,
go.
and that's the thing. Is like you're giving the information. Like Scott Mark himself said. I think I can't remember when he said it was back in lockdown. I think he said it was, and he started to repurpose. He went through all these emails, and he started looking at all the emails he receives, people asking him questions, and all he
Yeah.
did was he just turned those into videos.
Yeah.
And he
He
said it
made
was,
podcasts about them as well,
and
didn't
he
he?
said it
That's
was
like,
tremendously
yeah,
successful. And then
yeah.
Gina went, "So what happened?" He went, "Oh, I just stopped doing it, obviously, didn't I?" And it's true. Like I think
Oh
a lot of us are
God.
guilty of that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I can put my hand up for that one.
But it's like I mean, you can't do everything, and we have to,
No,
we have to accept that. So it's actually then prioritizing what you want to do and where you want to put your
yeah,
energies.
but
But
it's
it does seem as if TikTok. My God, I cannot say it, can I?
TikTok.
TikTok and YouTube are really good places to start
They
thinking
are.
about.
I mean, LinkedIn, obviously, LinkedIn being
Yeah.
LinkedIn. But in terms of, well, apparently, I saw this guy posted something. They do like they call it like the algorithm playbook for the year or the handbook or something. Basically,
Oh
telling you about
yes.
what changes the algorithm.
Yeah.
And he did this really documented thing. And apparently, he's saying that video views are down, or is it video? And it's down 300%. So essentially, what he thinks is, based on the figures, is that LinkedIn are coming away from the TikTok style model
Yeah, and they're pushing
because
what more long form.
they still go all in on pictures and just good
Yeah.
content. But
Yeah.
the video thing, it appears that they may be
Yeah.
pulling that back a bit,
Okay.
not pushing it as hard.
So less direct competition with TikTok
But
and
yeah, because they've got their
Instagram.
niche. Like
Yeah,
LinkedIn
they
is
have. Yeah.
LinkedIn. There isn't really
Yeah.
anything to compete with that. There's nothing,
No.
do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with doing video as well, but TikTok is TikTok, LinkedIn is
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and they have different audiences.
They do.
And
Yeah.
interestingly as well, on TikTok, voiceovers really popular on TikTok, and a lot of
Yes.
voiceovers are answering questions as if they're trying to like a newbie support guide
Yeah.
or like a bit of a BTS and everything. But not many people actually do TikToks about I'm a voiceover, you're a video production company, all my content is going to help you understand more about working with me. There's not enough of it.
No, there's not enough of it. And I think a lot of people, because I mean, I've not done it, but I think in some ways it's easier to do it to other voiceover artists because you're more familiar with the pain points yourself, aren't you, personally?
Yeah,
So
and of course,
it's easier to do that. And also it gives you good traction, doesn't it? So if you build up a good following, then, more people see you. But
yeah.
yes, absolutely. They're not our target audience unless you are a coach.
Yeah, but that being said, though, it's still that content still holds weight because
Yeah, of
it
course it
still gives
does.
your potential customers an insight into how you work,
Yeah, and it's
even if
like
the
puts you.
content isn't directed at them.
Yeah,
It's
and if other
still
voiceover artists are looking up to you, you're like, oh, well, I want the best then. I want the coach. I want the
yeah,
person who's doing the teaching.
yeah. But from what, like I said, from the Mark's podcast episode with Gina, big thing was they were saying there's a
Okay,
lot
I'm
of
going to have
content
to listen
there.
to that podcast.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah,
It's
excellent.
literally an hour of absolute gold.
Yeah,
What's the word? Gold nuggets of
yeah, gold
information.
mine.
It is absolutely again,
Ooh, okay.
it's not anything brand new. It's just laid out in such a way that you go, "Okay, like, why am
Yeah,
I leaving this on the table?" You
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So yeah, I highly recommend people listen to that. But that was one thing I took away was like, if you're going to do short form content, all you have to do is just do a video of reading out your FAQs one by one. That each one is a video,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
then obviously, and then, oh yeah, the other thing as well is hashtags.
yeah.
Hashtags are now almost redundant. Elon on X, he said, don't use them, they're ugly. Write your content now on
God, I'm not. Yeah.
socials. Write your content on socials with an SEO format in
Okay, so you've
mind.
got the keywords included in your
Keywords in
Yeah,
there
okay.
because now all the algorithms do is like the
And that's the
well,
same on Instagram, TikTok,
yeah.
YouTube.
There's still an argument to say that you could use maybe one or two hashtags because
Okay,
they do
so
still
yeah,
work.
prioritize there. Okay.
But apparently, sticking with good, rich content in your
Yeah.
post is undoubtedly the way forward.
Okay, cool. That is interesting to think about. Um, I've just slightly on a bit of a tangent, but thinking about podcasts, I've been listening to Mel Robbins.
Oh, okay.
Like every other person out there. A couple people recommended to me, and I can't think who it was, like for motivational podcast. I
Yeah,
think it was
Steph listens
Alex
to it all the time.
Perry and a couple of people, and it is genius. I mean, like you have to be in the right mood. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like, I'm your best friend. I'm gonna make everything amazing, but she's really good. So you do come away, and if it's like an episode that really like hits home to you in terms of motivation and mindset, it does. Like I go for quite a few walks and runs and stuff, and it does. I come back being like, okay, let's
Yeah.
send some emails. Yes, I would recommend that as well if anyone needs a bit of motivation to
Do you
get
find
this
out?
moving.
Do you find at some point though? Because I do love like a bit of motivation stuff.
Yeah.
But do you not find at some point though, it's like there's only so much listening you can listen to.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's almost so much listening to motivation stuff you can absorb. Comes a point where you actually have to start doing
it. I've not listened to loads, so I think maybe I'm still in the baby stages of motivational speakers. But I absolutely can imagine what you mean, because it is like, yeah, okay, then put it into action.
Yeah. It's like you get caught in it, because I've been there, I've done it before. You get caught up in a bit of a cycle. I downloaded God knows how many audiobooks, like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and
Yeah.
Bob Proctor and all this, and I love because consume. I was like, I've actually done naff all towards it all.
I've actually got to do it now.
Because essentially, once you've gone through a lot of them, they all fundamentally give you the same message. It's just dressed up in a different way, based on how they are.
Sometimes you have to hear it in a different way for it to really resonate with you, don't you?
Yeah,
absolutely. To actually hit that marker, but 100%. Yeah, I've not listened to most of those you just mentioned, but it's yeah, sometimes you just need to kick the arse, don't you? And then getting on with it. And with Mark as well, I think I'd messaged him. I've done his course, which is brilliant, and I can't think what it's called.
Playbook.
His playbook, yeah. I really would recommend it. But a lot of the stuff, again, is
Well,
stuff
this
that
episode
you'll
is
know.
sponsored by Mark Scott.
I
By
know,
the way.
right? Mark, you're welcome. A lot of the stuff you'll know, but you have to just do it then. You have to just crack on and do it. And a lot of the marketing stuff that we hear is about that. And you're like, okay, just fucking do it now.
Yeah. But it's just that, I mean, obviously everybody's different. The problem I've got is I have a really bad problem with staying focused. I have since I'm a child, I have a terrible wandering brain. When I was in school, I had to be on these report books because I wasn't no troublemaker in the slightest. I just couldn't stay focused. So they give me these little books at the start of a lesson. I had to draw my lines out for the week for every lesson I had. I had to give it to the teacher, and they had to write a little summary as to whether I stayed focused, did what I needed to do, and at the end of the week, I had to then give that to the headmaster, and they'd look it over. And it was purely just to make sure, like it was to, like, stay focused because I know, and it didn't really work.
As a kid, I didn't have an issue with focus. As an adult, I cannot focus. My brain is like all over the place. And then I get really excited by stuff. And then I'm like, oh, and that, and then do that. And then, or I can be like super hyper focused where I'm like, I am just doing this thing and I can lose hours. Yeah. So it's either one thing or the other.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is it. So what I'm saying is like, so now in later life, in a similar sort of way, I get hyper.
You just say later life.
41 now.
You're not later life. Surely that's like 70s, 80s.
It's all downhill from here. Every time I get a cough, I think, oh god, here we go.
That is depressing. Later life.
But no, it's like, so nowadays I get like hyper focused on something I really enjoy. But even still, like now with voiceover, like you do all the sort of the preparations, to try and book work. Like get yourself out there, auditions, and then like for me, the peak of the dopamine hit is booking the work. Then when it comes to actually doing it, it's like,
oh really?
Do I need to go Tesco's for anything? Like,
it depends what the job is. There's some stuff that I'm really excited about doing, and especially when it's something different or new, and you got all those butterflies in your tummy, and I'm so excited to get in that space and do it. Especially, so the job that I was saying about the brand voice, that was the first live casting that I've done. And yeah, I was in the room, virtual room with, 7 people or something. So you got the end client and you got the marketing agency and stuff. Yeah. And I was bricking it, with a number of different countries, but it was brilliant. And like, I just love that. That sets me on fire a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say, sorry, just to clarify, when I say about, when I finally put the job. It's not because I don't want to do it, but it's because I get like I say, it's anticlimactic from the dopamine point of view. It's
Yeah.
like I'm always looking for a distraction
Yeah.
rather than just
What's
doing
next?
what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about not wanting because I don't enjoy it. It's far from it. It's just I
Yeah.
can't stay focused.
And I will find anything other to do than send emails. But then maybe that's not for me. Like, I loved the networking thing this morning. Maybe I just need to find more things like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So going full circle, like, so I would listen to all these motivation things, and I'd get all hyped up and excited. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then when it came to actually like, right, tomorrow morning we'll start off and I'll do that. And then I'll just like stare at my screen, and then before you know it, I've scrolled on Instagram for 2 hours. Like, well, this is a complete waste of time, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah,
track it
reorganise your
tomorrow.
bookshelf, done some exercise, made a sandwich. Yeah.
Just been the procrastination master. My God.
Procrastination Master, that's a good t-shirt.
It
And
is.
also because I enjoy making content, but I enjoy making like fun videos or like monologues and stuff where I get to act and perform. And yeah, that's far more exciting to me than,
Well,
yeah.
can I actually? I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot to write that down. Something to ask you about. So you recently did that monologue from was it Diablo 4?
Oh,
The
yeah,
game?
yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about that because that is, I'm full disclosure, I'm absolutely going to rip that off because I want to do something similar. But because it's good, because the thing is, there isn't really another avenue to produce that sort of content
Yeah.
on the regular. So you've got to
Yeah.
create it. Like I don't
So,
have demos or I don't have
yeah,
existing bodies of work to produce, so I have to come up with those myself. But I think
yeah.
it's such a good way of showcasing yourself if you want to trap more of that work.
I think that's
So
the
tell me
thing
more
because
about
I would love to play that kind of character.
that. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well then why don't I play it? Why don't I just try it and then
For
put it out
those who
there?
don't know what we're going on about, just
Sorry.
add a little context.
Yeah, sorry. So I created a video for social media that was of me essentially doing the voice of Lilith, who is from Diablo 4. And it was, I don't know, a minute and a half or something, the video. And I first did one of these videos with Chris Woodworth, who absolutely needs a shout out here
Yep.
because he is the master at doing these things. I don't think
It's
he's the
great.
first, but he's certainly the most prolific. Is that the right word? He does
Yeah.
them all the time.
He's really consistent with it as well.
He's really consistent. Huge
It's like
respect.
Chris Tester would do in the
The monologues, yeah,
with like
100%. The Chris's are absolutely
the
busting it
ogre.
out.
No, is it ogre or something?
No, Warhammer. He does a lot, but he
Warhammer.
does anime, he does Shakespeare, he does all sorts.
Yeah.
But Chris, I did a duet with Chris, a dubbing duet, last year or the year before or something, and really enjoyed it and wanted to do a bit more practice as well. So Chris has a workshop thing that you can buy, which is about, I don't know, 50 quid or something. And he does walk you through it. Now, hands up, because I'm very easily distracted, I didn't fully follow Chris's excellent advice and kind of went off on a bit of a tangent. But his is there. And I think if you are looking to do it more, then he's a great resource.
Yeah.
But I just did mine on Canva because I'm familiar with Canva. And I just thought, okay, I'll do the screen record. I'll give them credit, obviously, for the video. And then the thing that I did not consider was, I mean, the dubbing wasn't, the animation to the voice wasn't really clear on the copy that I had actually, so it was a bit fudgy. So that kind of helped with my dubbing being slightly fudgy. The biggest thing for me was building the soundscape.
Right.
I hadn't considered the fact that if I mute their video, there's no sound. It's just me
That's
talking.
that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, how would you take her voice out, keep the music in?
I didn't. I made it all.
So you just put the so hang on, so that audio is not from the game. You added that in.
No, it's nowhere near
I
as good as the
see.
game. But
Oh,
so
why would you? But as someone who wouldn't know the difference,
Yeah.
it worked.
Thank you very much. And honestly, I spent a lot of time doing it, so I'm glad that it paid off. Pixabay, shout out Pixabay. We'll see if they'll sponsor the podcast. Do free pictures, free music, and free sound effects. And I spent a lot of time trying to choose the sounds and the kind of the tonality that I wanted for the video as well to try and put it behind. And also shout out to Anthony Hewson, who received a message of me saying, do you fancy being a creepy voice for one line? Calling me mother. And he was up for it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. A shout out to the video if anybody wants to go and check it out. I don't know why I keep saying shout
I
out.
know, it's like,
Is that number 4? It's like a
those,
drinking game.
shit rappers that just shout out to everyone without actually rapping. Like shout out to like mum and dad in it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know.
I am so sorry.
Shout out
I'm
to my
getting
kids who ain't
stuck.
born yet.
I'm getting stuck on particular phrases. But yeah, drink.
Shout out to the
yeah.
woman at Tesco's that scanned my chocolate bar for
She
12p
was
less.
lovely. Definitely shout out to Brenda. Yeah, no, have a go.
But you've actually, no, to be fair, I'm glad. I'm glad you explained that because you've simplified it and broken it down. Because I would love to do that, and I think that because again, if I'm not very technically savvy in my older years. Like
Later life.
yeah, my later life. When I was a teenager, I mean, I still have a penchant for like all things like gaming and
Proportional.
stuff. Yeah, but when I was a teenager, I used to like take my PC apart and
That's
reinstall,
mad.
upgrade. No, I could not like
No, I know.
completely rip it apart,
Yeah,
but I
but
could
still.
take the casing off, take components out, swap them out with new ones. And nowadays, I wouldn't even dare take the case off. Like, don't, I'll break it. Like, I wouldn't even
Yeah.
go near it. So when it
It's like my
comes to
mum
things,
like doesn't want to touch the remote. Like, oh no, I might break
yeah,
it. Like, no, you
yeah.
really won't.
So when it comes to things like doing these sorts of videos,
Yeah.
one big obstacle I was like, which maybe just got
Yeah.
forget it, it's not worth it,
Yeah.
was how do you get all the audio and but
Yeah.
again that's it, it's just
It's
hit mute
fiddly
and
and it's just
replace
messing
it.
around. And I think I am kind of a learn by doing kind of gal. So I just thought I'd just crack on and see what happens.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't say that Canva is the best thing to do it in. So Chris recommends using CapCut, I think is one of the places he says. But
Yeah.
I've only used that a little bit and I thought I'm more familiar with Canva. I'll see what I can do on here. So
Well,
there are loads of things out there.
I finally got my first gaming credit, which is
Oh,
why
yay!
I
I'd
am
forgotten that.
so this is why it's been quite like so like I use that phrase full circle quite often, but going full circle from the beginning, like so it's been an interesting start to the year. And I have to fully admit that I haven't done tremendous amounts of things for these things to happen. Maybe it's because of things I've done previously with my website and just having a
Hmm.
presence. But there wasn't like an influx of I did this and then this happened. It did
Yeah.
just very fortunate that the year started well of getting a lot of contact from people.
Yeah.
And one of those was for this game, and it's called Abyss. I can say it now because the trailer and everything's out, but I'm not in it. The game's called Abyssus. It's a first-person shooter game. They put a trailer out about 6 months ago, which has got like music. For those that play first-person shooters, it's like Doom,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's that. So
Well done.
I play when you start the game. I haven't seen it yet. I just know I play this like over-the-top sergeant guy who talks you through all the weapons mods, like what the weapons are and all that sort of stuff. So whether he will be a person that you see or like a voice in the sky sort of thing, I have no idea. But the game comes out this year, so I cannot wait to
Oh,
see
I'm
it.
excited for you.
But it
That's
got me
really cool.
like it got me proper amped up. We had a really good live session when we did it. It's a bit of an over the top like right like sort of thing, and it's funny as well in parts. But then I got an audition to audition for this character for this game, which was going as a demo to a game convention in San Francisco in I think it's next month, and I got shortlisted for that. And it was very much like it was a northern voice, and it was very much like the references they gave was like one of the big fella from Game of Thrones. Can't remember what his name is. Begins with a H. Some people listen like saying it. The Hound. The Hound. And anyway, but I was just like, I didn't get it, but it didn't matter. I was just like, you're only putting
Yeah,
those sorts
that's
of
what I
vibes
want.
out.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I saw your monologue, and I was like, I've got my first game credit, did another big audition for this character. Getting it's well, I say it's irrelevant. It's like I didn't lose any sleep over the fact. I was just excited that I was, you know, in the mix with these possibilities. So I thought, right, I need to produce more content that aligns with
Yeah.
that sort of stuff
Yeah.
because I can't,
You
you
me
know,
both, kid.
yeah, I can't. I don't have it. I don't have it. So yeah, so when I saw your video, I thought, right, I want to try and get a bit more stuff like that out. So yeah, so I'm
Definitely
encouraged.
do
I'm
it.
encouraged, yeah. And I don't
You
think
know,
it's as complicated as it needs to be.
no, I think you can definitely simplify it. But you know what time it is?
Oh
You don't
God,
know.
I forgot
It's
all about it.
time
Oh, it's
for voiceover of the week. I might need to practice that.
slightly theatrical, but okay.
That's me. Okay, so we haven't got it lined up, so we are going to seamlessly put it in
with the magic of computers.
with the magic computers. But this week's voiceover of the week is Sebastian Brown. Come
Hey,
on down, Seb. Oh,
well done,
it's
Seb.
so good. He's done a voiceover for Audi that's been made by Hello Robin, and it's so lovely. It's just dramatic, smooth.
It's got like a flawlessness to it, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's really like even, but not monotone in any way.
No, no.
But like it's really smooth. Well, I guess like a glide, like if you're driving a really smooth car or something like
It
that.
just
It's
yeah,
so well done.
like it's engaging, and then if for those of you watching, you'll be able to see it. But like it's one of those. It marries up so well with
It
the
really does.
visuals
It's perfect,
and the
perfect
delivery.
casting.
So It is, yeah. So Seb, you've done exceptional there, mate. Well done, and really, really, really pleased to say you're our first viewer of the week
Yay!
for the new
Me
season.
too.
And this is what it sounds like.
You were born to move forward with courage, expression. Experience the next level of design intelligence. Bold and expressive. Lighting the path ahead. Introducing the fully electric Audi E-Concept. When motion meets emotion.
So well done, Seb. Excellent work. Loved it.
Yeah. And I think that about wraps us up, doesn't it?
I think we're pretty much, we're on 34 minutes. Oh, we've done all right. We said 30. We've gone over 4 minutes. And I have
We've done well for
quite a
us.
bit.
We have done well for us.
I know, yeah.
I mean, I'm really excited for this series. So I cannot wait for all the learning we're going to get from all these amazing casting directors and creative directors. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we literally just wanted this first one, just have a bit of a waffle, just a bit of a sort of an overall chit chat and talk about what's coming, and then the next one.
And just say hello. We've missed you.
Yeah.
Come and get in
it's been
touch.
good.
We'd love to hear from you.
Keep for all those that sort of been following us on the socials and everything, like the numbers are going up. Like we really appreciate it. But
Yeah,
we're going to
really
try
do.
and one thing we're going to try and do is try and put more content on the socials, like
Yeah.
clips and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And please
so-
do the whole like and subscribe thing. Share with your friends.
And I've not even said this to Jen yet, but she hasn't got a choice. We are definitely going to do something live this season.
Yes.
It doesn't
Yes.
have to be an episode. It could just be.
Yeah.
Because I think, sorry, actually, one other thing I should mention actually as well, which is sort of related. Going live is a tremendous booster to your social media profiles. So there's a high recommendation, particularly on TikTok, that if you want to get seen more, apparently going live
Little
is
sneaky
a
little tip to end the session.
big thing. Yeah. So although that wasn't my intention for saying it, I mean, I've never done a live, and I'm
No,
petrified
I'm
but
terrified.
excited.
Maybe we do it on TikTok because we.
Yeah. Well, you can if you go on TikTok now, you'll see a lot of voiceovers, like particularly
I know,
book
yeah.
narrators. They'll just sit there with the camera next to them and just
Yeah.
narrate whatever they're doing.
Steph something or other does it. She's amazing. I can't think what her surname is. Apologies, but she's amazing. Yeah. Right. Well, I will see you next week.
All right, we'll see you next week then. All right, folks. We're glad to be back, and we'll
Yeah.
see you on the next one.
Bye.
No, I say this every time. We'll see you on the next one. We won't see you.
Unless you're watching YouTube. Oh no, we won't see you though, will we? That'd be creepy.
But we appreciate you lending us
do.
your ears for 37 minutes.
Speak to you soon.
All right, folks. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.